All right, some people want to just be you guys. Right? They just
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, exactly.
But they actually have really regular Joe jobs right now, but they've got this great business idea. Would you say, quit your job, put 100% into your idea, and run with it? Have no plan B and just invest and go? Or would you say, all right, cautiously put your toe in, work on it, you know, nights and weekends, and work it out?
Well, I'll go first. Listen, I think this answer is going to surprise you coming from me because I'm known as pretty conservative with the wealthy barber, etc. But I meet almost nobody who has succeeded as an entrepreneur with a plan B, and nobody who does it on a part-time basis. I mean, it is 24/7. You've got to live it and breathe it. I don't make any investments on the show into people who aren't doing it on a full-time basis. So unfortunately, even though it's scary and sometimes doesn't work out, I think usually you have to take the plunge to make it work.
What do you think?
That's great, very true. I'm a bit different, but along the same lines, you definitely have to be committed. But I think there's also you have to look at what stage in life you're at. You know, I think that there's emotional dollars and economic dollars. And if you have children, as I have 6 kids, single father, you know, you have to balance, you know, and I think that to be successful, you can't take on too much. I tend to do that most of my life. It tends to, you know, backfire sometimes. And if I had to say one thing about my life is that to be able to make decisions quickly has been a great trait of mine, but also to follow through, but not take on anything too much that is going to overwork myself and take away for some of the emotional dollars that you need to have in life. And then the balance is the most important thing. So when you go out there and you're looking at an opportunity or you have a great opportunity, you got to make sure you're funded. You got to make sure that you have supporters, not just financial supporters, but also people that will, you know, be behind you, you know, cheerleaders behind you. And then you move out there. So I'm a little bit more cautious going on the front end, but it depends. You know, if you're in your early 20s and you can do what you want to do, and go for it. If you're, you know, at my age and you have lots of kids, then you got to be a little more cautious because there's a lot of, you know, you don't want to find yourself in what I call a desperate situation. Desperate situations, you do desperate things. That's the wrong way.
You know, it's interesting, by the way, the number of studies in the last few years that have come out and said that people starting an entrepreneurship venture at 45 up tend not to do well. It's very difficult. I mean, you have to have a certain way of thinking that I think is more likely to be present in somebody a tad more youthful. And I think, too, when you're coming out of school and you're in your early 20s, as you said, you don't have a spouse yet, you don't have kids, mortgage obligations, it might be your best time to take a chance. But there's another reason I like starting when you're young. You're not blinded by experience. We always think of experience as being an asset, but my argument, it can often be a negative. When I look at a wealthy barber, there's no way I would have had that success had I been in publishing first. It's because I didn't know what the hell I was doing, that it all worked out well. I thought, try this, try that. I wouldn't have thought any of those things had I already been in the publishing industry. So I think starting young is important. Now, some of you aren't young, so you're screwed.
Hey, what's happening to us, man? Come on. No, I agree. I think that, you know, but I also believe that, you know, experience breeds a certain side of temperament. You know, what I know now is given me the ability to understand that it takes 5 years to kind of build a business, 10 years to build a brand. And once you have that kind of thought process, I say to people, make money slow. Take your time. Make sure you make your checks and balances. And I always have dual pass or triple pass I go down to make sure I always have that longevity, sustainability.